Go into win. That's hilarious. Okay.
Annie, what are you saying though? What are you saying?
I'm so like, if I recognize a red flag, and that's what I'd like to ask you, is like, if you recognize a red flag, like, been here before, it's just the same shit, different face, do you still wait around for several confirmations of something that you recognize already?
What do you do?
I nip shit in the bud, but I treat everything kind of like, people say I treat relationships like a business transaction, because I will just nip it in the, I will like, I don't like that, because if that continues, I'm highly emotional, so if that continues and I see it on several occasions, that's going to piss me off. And I know that after 3 times, let's say we wait for 3 times for pure confirmation, then he's going to lie to me about it. That's going to wind me up. So I'd rather just nip that in the bud, and they know from then that's the warning. I've always been told, give people 3 warnings before you punch them in the face, right? So I go on that face.
Who taught you that?
That was granddad. It sounds like a granddad thing. It sounds like a granddad thing.
Definitely taught me that.
Doesn't it depend on the thing though? Doesn't it depend on the power of the red flag? Like there's red flags, like there's pink flags, and then there's fucking.
Yeah.
All right.
I pick my back. Like, there's some things that are pet peeves that I'm just like, does it really matter? No, because we don't want a long ass list. We just want the most relevant things.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, because I've got a question, and it's after that. But my thing is, like, does your partner have a right, or do you have a right to be able to let your partner know the minor red flags, or are these things that you just have to keep to yourself and deal with? If that makes sense.
Definitely can. But the thing is that there's going to be a long. If there's going to be a long list, then I'm trying to avoid a long.
The top of the list.
Yeah, that's the back of the long to undo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No major red flags, and everything's just like we're like pretty similar people, and there's just little minor pet peeves. Then sure, because that's easy. If it's easy for them and they don't mind, I would love for that not to be there. So yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But if we've already got stuff to deal with, let's just focus on that, because they're going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know, so we just do little by little. Most important, pick your battles, because if you're always saying loads of stuff, you're going to end up being a moaner. Ain't it right?
So what's an example? What's an example of a big red flag? What's an example of a big red flag compared to a pink flag? What, like I want like a proper scarlet red, like I want blood, that kind of flag. Like what's an example of that kind of flag in your eyes?
Who's it to Annie? Yeah.
To anyone.
Ruben, got something ready. Go on.
I mean the obvious super neon red flag is sleeping with my brother. Like do you know what I mean? Like what you
Is that a flag, Bridget? That's a flag.
Yeah, that's not a flag, man. I think that's
right.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That's the end.
You are lenient, man.
I feel like flags are like habits,
I want to give you 3 warnings. 3 warnings. If you sleep with my
brother, you do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Don't be dumb. All right. So a big red flag would probably be if I'm out in a rave with my girl, and she goes to the bar, and the guy starts winding her up, and she stands there and holds the wine and upgrades the wine. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, and upgrades, bro.
Like, you know what I mean? What are you doing?
I don't even think the upgrade is necessary, bro. I feel like holds the wine is enough. For me,
but there's some courtesy to accepting the dance.
No.
Don't you think so?
No way.
I don't know.
If it's my friend that she's whining with, I'm like, fair enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever want my partner to feel like I'm being controlling, and I don't ever want my No. Within reason. Like, if a friend of mine is having a reasonable dance with my girlfriend, and it's like, but do you know why? It's
butty on crutch.
No, but like it kind of is contextual.
I'm there. Take your penis off of my girl's bum, bro.
No, I agree. Yeah, I'm not here for it. Like, yeah, I'm not here for that.
So that is a minor one for you.
But like, it might not be like a wine like that. It might just be like they're dancing together and vibes in. And I'm like, that's calm because people can hold a vibe.
But that's not a flag at all then. That's what I'm
saying. That in that situation, I'm like, that's fine. But if that same situation, like holding a vibe, With a stranger, I'm like, no, you need to send that person packing kind of thing, because
No, that's mad.
Unless they're like in our social group that night, because we're all kind of having fun and this is a new friend that we've made. There's I feel like there's a nuance with dancing.
I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure. Like if I'm at the bar, if I'm with a group of, and there's a group of us, and my missus is at the bar, and all of a sudden she's holding the vibe, but the holding the vibe is kind of like, imagine the gun fingers, it's that one.
Yeah.
Right? Bro, I don't care if you're a stranger or not, bro. Hold your vibe when you really come back with your drink and all of the rest of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought you were saying.
I think that's fine.
If it's a stranger, okay, all right.
No, I said if it's a stranger or my friend holding a vibe, I feel like that's acceptable.
Yeah.
But the wine is...
Okay.
Man said upgrading the wine, you know.
And I said, no, the base level wine is too much.
Basic level wine, bro.
Okay.
Listen, the digestive biscuit wine, bro, is enough. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Listen,
I hear you, man. There's a massive difference between doing the candy and getting daggered. Do you know what I mean?
listen, you can do the Charleston with another girl. That's all right.
No, like even the Charleston, that's a vibe. I'm like, you should be able to do that. If that moment is happening, I don't see why just because you're with me, you should be missing out on that moment.
Yeah,
like, the moment is there. Yeah. When I'm in the dance floor, in a party, like I'm catching vibes with everyone who's in the vicinity.
100.
And it's like, it's not sex related. It's not gender related. Like man will grab me because the tune, and I'm like, yeah. And I'll be holding on to a man that I don't know, bruv. So I don't feel like, even though girls don't really act like that in the same way, I wouldn't want them like to feel like it's not acceptable or whatever. But a wine is
nah, not while I'm there. Not while I'm there.
What do you mean not while you're there? Like, why should her behavior be different when you're not there?
No, but sometimes people hold a secret wine, innit? Sometimes people hold a secret wine.
When I'm not there. Of course it should be.
It should be the same.
Of course it should be. Like you're walking with me. We've come out together. If I see you at carnival. If you're at carnival and you're doing your thing, like from where we're from, it's a cultural thing, if that makes sense. Like, so whatever. I've seen it. I've seen like real dancing with, as long as you know how to look after yourself. Like, but I don't even want you doing that whilst I'm there, if that makes sense. If we came together, respect the thing, bruv. Because I'm not gonna go off and not even lightly wine with another thing whilst I'm here with you. If that it does make a difference if I'm there or not.
No. In carnival, man them get hard on. So like, there's like
you said in carnival, like man don't get hard everywhere else. We talking about.
All right, but 100. But we're talking about in this particular situation as an example.
Yeah.
Whether you're there or not, he doesn't know that you exist because there's no conversation about that.
But I feel like there's a difference. Again, I can only speak for myself. Where I come from, Trinidad and Barbados. They're both two of the biggest islands in the world when it comes to carnival. I was brought up. My mum had a float, if that makes sense. My sisters do the same thing, if that makes sense. So it's within the culture. So for me to be able to go there, I'm going to be dancing with certain people, and it's not a sexual thing, if that makes sense. It's just a part of the culture.
It's the truth. It's true. It is a trendy thing as well, because to be fair, Christmas and stuff, like every Christmas, when a lot of my older family was still alive and around, on the Trini side, I always used to go to the family house, and all of us, like when I think about it, it sounds like the most incestuous thing to talk about, but there was nothing incestuous about it. All of us will be winding up with everybody. I'm talking about I'm winding up with my uncles, and then my uncle's wife is winding with my other uncle's wife.
Can we explain what a wine is? Because I feel like
it's dancing. I'm not talking about like carnival wine.
Like this.
Nah, it's not this.
So man's bigger than me, you get me? So I'm holding on to my uncle as in
Shane's holding on to the batty.
Yeah, I'm holding on to my uncle's batty basically. And then I'm dancing. Dancing with everybody.
I wouldn't have thought that would happen.
I'm dancing with all of my family together.
Presentation. What does it look like when two straight men wind up with each other? There's got to be a difference between dancing to the music and whining.
No, because I'm fully holding my uncles. You don't understand. Everybody's holding somebody.
Holding
so
how?
I'm dancing. No, not like salsa, but like salsa, Cass, is what I'm saying.
I see where you're going with this, though.
You know,
that to me is not a wine. You can't use wine.
It's not a wine, but it's a contact dancing. If you know what I mean.
Wine.
I don't think it's fine. I feel like any type of contact dancing should be regarded as contact dancing versus not, if you know what I mean, like non-contact but engaging?
So like if my dad was to grab, like when I was a kid, I would stand on his feet.
Yeah.
We would hold each other as if similar to what a man and wife or like in a wedding dance. Technically, that's contact. You're touching.
Yeah.
But genitals are not scrubbing.
No, it's not a scrubbing thing because the
it's
actual
not
dance is.
A whine is scrubbing, either front or
I agree with Annie. I agree with Annie. But at the same time, again, it's almost kind of like I'm trying to like other cultural dances. I'm trying to reference them with other cultural dances. But if this is something that because it's all about the intent. A lot of the time, it's all about the intent. It's not about necessarily the action, if that makes sense. If me and you lie down in the same bed and we don't have any intention to do anything, it's very different if we're lying down in the same bed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I think the equivalent of that one is if two people are laying in a bed and they're dry humping, but they have no plan.
You have to let me land. You have to let me land. The reason why I say that is like this. Again, but the reason why I say that is because from a cultural point of view, that's what the dance looks like. It's actually called a whine. That's where it started. If you want to look at the anthology of whining, if that makes sense. That's
legit.
So when there's something that's been brought up with our culture, and that's another thing, as West Indians, you don't really get you don't really get to celebrate that side of your culture from a soca point of view and all of the rest of it, if that makes sense. So when that comes over, the same way you enjoy the food, the same way you enjoy the loud music, the same way you enjoy all of that kind of stuff, if that makes sense, nothing else is attached to it other than culture, if that makes sense. And if you're dancing for those reasons, yes, the difference is when somebody decides then to take something a little bit too far, that's when you're aware that it's not that. So for example, myself, Shay, Ruben is a perfect example. Your cousin Shay, Jamie, we go there and we have partners and all of the rest of it. We'll go there and we'll whine. We'll hold a whine, hold 2 whine, 3 whine, whatever. That's what the day's about. You're enjoying yourself, but none of us are then trying to take numbers or trying to scrubs up or X, Y, and Z. It's literally just a whine, if that makes sense. It becomes very different. And I'm saying, hey, what's your name? Like, what are you saying? It becomes very, very different. It's very, very different. I feel like we have to talk about intent versus action.
Agreed.
Like the action, I don't feel like the action's enough to send you to jail. I think the intent can be, and the intent married with the action.
I feel you.
Fully.
What if the intent is platonic and just culture based, but your dick still gets hard? So Annie, like,
it can't. If your intent is there.
Look to me.
No, I don't know. You know.
I don't know. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It can. Like, there's a difference.
In what sense?
What as in, does in
as in if you're fully holding a whine.
Hold on. There's 3 types of boner, right? There's the one that's like audio and visual. Yeah, so things that gets you off by sounds and by sight.
Yeah.
There's feeling. There's a feeling boner, and then there's the other one, the one that happens in the morning, or the one that happens when you don't want it to happen.
Yeah, the morning glory thing. That's so true. Yeah. Your body's just doing a thing. Look at Annie.
She's out here taking
3
notes.
types of boner.
She's trying to work out that frequency. You know,
you know what I mean?
She could be
recording and she's still taking written notes.
No, but it's not even that.
Point.
I want to see the frequency that she comes out with when she learns how to do the audio, and she just talk about, and it's just done.
She's gonna start singing, isn't it?
Whispering to the dick, boy.
That thing's not getting hard, boy. Imagine you're just trying to live your life, and then your bass coming in your ear talking about.
Wow.
And I sleep in peace.
Wow. That's beautiful. Fuck me.
You went bed before.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to add that point because I feel like you can actually like can get a boner when the intention isn't necessarily.
You can, because like sometimes you see a dead thing and you're like raw, and then like I don't know, you might hold a violent whine and you're like, you know what?
River, why did you miss that?
I don't know. Like, I think.
You know what? That's why I know Ruben's got a handbrake on. You know. That's why I know Ruben's got a handbrake on. Because she said,
"Why?
And Ruben's face said, "Are we recorded?"
I was like, "Dead thing. That's someone's daughter, you know."
Fam, let me tell you, yeah. There's a scale, and everyone finds themselves on one end of that scale.
Mate, it is what it is, bruv. It is what it is.
It's eyes of the beholder. I'm not saying she's a dead thing to all. I'm just saying at this particular moment, she may be a dead thing to me.
Bro, it's life.
Yeah.
It's
I hear
life,
you.
bro.
I hear you.
It's life, bro. It's life. Like that's. I think like that's taken. That's taken. Anybody that will watch this and think, oh my god, how could you ever call anybody a dead thing, bro? Put yourself in the trap, bro. Not even that's the dead thing, bro. That's not even recycling. It's complete trash, bro.
That is definitely the dead thing. Everyone is beautiful. Wow. Okay. So like, yeah, there's definitely been occasions where there's a thing that I've thought was dead, but somehow I've still found myself aroused. That's not my issue. But what I mean is like, in terms of you saying it, and he's dying, you know. In terms of intent, the reason why I was saying, oh no, you can be fine with intent, but this is again the cultural differences, because in these scenarios, in these Christmas scenarios, I'll be dancing with like aunts and uncles and stuff, and that is not the type of dance, if you see what I mean.
I have
the closeness is there, and I feel like if you take the visual of how I'm dancing with one of my aunts or whatever, if you swap to me and their husband, it would actually then be a different dance. Yeah. But when you swap it, the intent is not the same, but the visuals is the same, because it's not like a sexual dance. It's just a close dance, and there is physical contact.
So by physical contact, do you mean batty on crutch?
No, I'm talking about front to front. Why am I going to be behind my cousin?
That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm talking front to front.
I mean, contact doesn't mean sex, but to me, from my second-hand understanding of you lot's culture, is that whining is a sexual scrub up.
So for me, if you're watching
too much Sting, you're watching too much Sting, bruv. You're watching too much Jamaican.
If someone is back into someone's front, that's a different dance altogether. There is, to me, how can I word this correctly? There is no other way to interpret that type of dance. Okay. There's just intention, as in like you're trying to take this dance somewhere, or you're not.
Imitating sex, but on the dance floor.
No, it's not that.
It's not imitating sex.
When it sounds batty is in your crotch, that is imitating sex. That's foreplay.
No, it's not. Because, hold on a second. That could be called spooning. That could be that could be another way, a normal way of affection, if that makes sense. If you take that out, it's not sex.
Spooning is not movement. There's no movement.
But the point that I'm making is, that same position, for example, you can look at sex or you can look at cuddling. They have a thing in the Latin culture. Hold on. They have a thing in the Latin culture called anunches, and what that is, mothers and daughters do it, like mothers and sons do it, all of that kind of stuff, and they're laid in the same spooning position, but there's no connotation given to it, if that makes sense.
Movement?
So you turn around and say the same thing.
Are they rubbing?
Hold on. The reason why I say that, hold on, let me land. I'm saying if I say spooning, naturally somebody's going to turn around and say, oh, you shouldn't really be doing that if it's not with your partner, because of the position that you're in, your crutch is still on somebody's back, just because of the position, because of the action. If you want to say that's imitating or whatever it is, sex, I don't sex in the same way that I whine. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. It's not the same thing. So if you want to be semantic, we can talk about how literal we're taking this, but it doesn't work the same way. One is literally a cultural thing, and also another thing is it's cultural, and it's been taken by opportunists to make it something else. So now we're looking at the situation backwards. Exactly. We're looking at the situation backwards, and we're saying it's a sexual thing that now some people do it without intent. But what it is, it's actually a thing that's done without intent, and some people have sexualized it.
I'm definitely with you, but I get that. Yeah. The spooning one, I'm lost with a little bit, only because I tried to think about it, and I couldn't, in my mind, spoon someone who's not my partner and even allow myself to get away with it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. But you know what I think it is? It's just a cultural thing. It's just a cultural thing. Just like I wouldn't call another guy papi. but they do it all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually have a brethren that I call Pappy.
All right. Well, you get my point.
Yeah.
It's the cultural thing.
Yeah.
When you go there and you see
Pappy.
nothing but like literally, it's just a term of endearing. Mothers align with their daughters in that same position, if that makes sense.
That's like the fetal position.
It's still spooning. Whatever way you want to call it, it's
it is the fetal position. So if a mum does, but would a mum back up on her son when he's big?
Mad.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, they do. And the thing is, I was shocked when I heard about it as well. Because I was like, what is this? Nah, it's not for me, brethren. At the same time, like, it's not my culture. Does that make sense? And I go and I see them do it.
That is a mindset. But I do think that laying in a position is different to movement in a position, because sex is basically movement within a position.
So a question to you then, Annie. If we're at carnival and we're both in carnival costume and we're with a float, and I see you and I come behind you and start whining behind you, do you think that's me making a sexual advance?
No, I don't. But I do think there's a line which becomes inappropriate. So I would dance with you for a bit, but I wouldn't be scrubbing up on you all the time.
Yeah.
But what if he had like, what if Ruben had the best wine in the available area?
In the land.
Yeah.
I feel like whining is sexual and it's a little bit intimate, so I don't tend to whine up a lot. I'll be whining up on my ones, but I don't really want a man. I don't need a man to be dancing with me.
Them ones that's the soundbite, bruv. That is the sound clip right there. The whole podcast. I don't need a man. Bow.
I enjoy my time. The way you're saying that you would dance with everyone, man, woman, child, granddad,
up, man.
I would dance with everyone, but I wouldn't be scrubbing up on a granddad. I would grab his hand. Wouldn't be scrubbing up with a kid. Don't need to do that. I feel like it is imitating sex.
So
and
for
that
me,
is my secondhand understanding.
I hear you saying, I definitely hear you saying scrubbing up, and I get what you mean, but I feel like because it's a conversation, it's very fluid, and it's more so I meet people where they are most comfortable. And someone might be comfortable to dance with me in like a proper wine and also understand that this is us dancing together as friends, not a thing.
How do you feel, all of you, if you give someone, actually, I don't know where Ruben stands with this, but definitely Shay and Cass. How do you feel if you're doing the non-sexual scrub up with a woman and your girl isn't there, and that's all cool, and then your girl sees you scrubbing up with a girl in a friendly manner, because your intention is only friendly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like she's going to be have a conversation about that?
That's actually happened to me. It's actually happened to me the other way around. Like, I've seen Rhea dancing with someone, and the moment she sees me, like, not in a guilty way, she just walks away and she comes to say hello to me. Like, not in a guilty way, but she see me. Oh shit, boyfriend's over there. Like, hey babe, how you doing? If that makes sense. Like, and then from there, she's with me. She's no longer doing that. If that makes sense. Like, while she's there and she's on her own and she's at carnival, like she's at this festival that celebrates where we're from, doing the things that we do where we're from. Like, it's not an issue. It just becomes an issue if you're doing it whilst I'm here in front of you, because it's almost a disrespect thing, if that makes sense.
Why is that disrespectful?
So this is the way I see it anyway. I'm with Rhea and we turn up somewhere together, if that makes sense, yeah? And then I see you. I don't necessarily leave Rhea to then go and talk to you in private unless it's something specific that I have to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Normally I'm kind of like, oh shit, Annie, meet Rhea, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. It's a little bit different if I'm kind of like, oh shit, my brother's over there. Yeah, see you in a second, and I'm off. I feel like that's
yeah, 100%. There's nothing that needs to be private, but scrubbing up on a dance floor is not private. So you could come over and dance with them or whatever. like
oh, mad.
No, you can't. No,
that's mad. That is mad. You shout on yourself. All sandwiching your own girl with next man.
But it's all friendly.
Man, open the relationship, man.
It's friendly.
That is a mazza. No, but the thing is, yeah, for me, with my girlfriend and my friends, like, I would scrub them all up together, if you know what I mean. because to me it's like it's one big friendly orgy. Like I'm having fun.
It's a big
having
safe
fun.
zone. Yeah. It's just all safety. Like it's a safe zone. Everyone knows each other. You know the intent. You feel
like I know that they know
That's it.
this is my partner. You know, I'm not trying to. We're just trying to have fun, all of us. Like, and I'm not trying to be, we can dance together because we're partners and you're not. Stay out. I'm like, no, like you're not here with someone cool. Like, let's all dance then. Let's all share in the fun.
Just a caveat. What was being said actually, that I've seen Rhea at Carnival 5-6 years in a row. The last couple of times I've gone to Carnival and seen her, I wanted to be with my boys. Like, and I wanted her to be with a girl. So I saw her, we stayed together for a bit and then we bounced and we went our separate ways. So she's still doing what she's doing. I'm still doing what I'm doing. And for some people, it's very different. For some people, your girl could be there and she's dancing with somebody else and all of the rest of it. As long as you know it's not sexual and all of the. And another thing is, she's not going to be brazen. It's a mazza. If she's brazen enough to have sexual intentions while she's dancing with someone in front of you, it's a mazza. So for me, it's probably even more secure, if that makes sense, if she's doing it with someone, because that says a lot about her intention while she's dancing. But for
what
me,
about the other person's intention?
You can't control that, can you?
You can't control that.
You can't put your booty on that penis.
I feel like it's different. It's different for you. It's different for you because I guess in terms of perspective, with you being a woman, you'll be considering other women's intentions for your man, and so like, I think. In terms of the dances, a woman has to accept a man's advances. Like, man can't just grab up any girl and dance with them and them not also accept the dance. Otherwise, they fight it and then they go away. So if a woman is willingly dancing with your man, then I guess it's a different perspective because I guess...
But it isn't always the men that approach. Often,
I know, but no. So I'm not saying it's always the men that approach, but I'm saying it's always the women that accept, if you see what I mean. Otherwise, the dance is not happening anymore. Like, so...
It's always the person that accepts, because I'm sure you guys have rejected dances as well. Or is it just
but like I reject like few, like, because to me it's always a fun thing. So long as I catch the person's attention and I'm like, yeah, like, look at me, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Like, what is this? What is this?
It's a fun thing, yeah? Like, don't stress me after we've danced.
I feel like, as a woman, I'm always going to most of the time, there's a good chance I'm going to get stressed out after the dance.
Wow.
Oh, no. I totally understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
And the funny thing is, 9 times out of 10, you might be true, but then at the same time, like, it may not be. And another thing is, I feel like it's difficult to, I mean, you could do what you want, but living by that particular rule to say, I'm not going to, it's almost kind of like saying every time somebody approached me in the gym, I know what they're after. Because I'm in my gym gear, I'm sweating, I'm doing work, I'm working out, I'm da-da-da. But this is my point. Like, it may not be like that. It may not be like that. Yeah. Like, somebody may be asking you a question about how you work with women. I do the same thing. Women work lower body much better than men do. So when I need to train, when I need to be able to get my shirt up, I go and ask women. Also, if you can catch a vibe, women learn how to do that. Men learn how to do that, where you learn how to kind of catch the vibe that somebody's on before you start dancing with them. So it's kind of like when you do that now, it's kind of like it's easy. It's easy because once the wine is gone or once the song's finished, keep it moving. Like, it's different. I don't want somebody coming up to me, biting their lip and squeezing their nipples. I'm not having that dance.
Never happens.
I do that to him all the time. I don't know what he's talking about. Look at the lip. Look at
that's a shade. That's what Shay did to his uncle.
Yeah. I'm like, Uncle, what are you saying? Were you holding this next wine, yeah?
Yeah.
Must they comment, Uncle?
Man, I've got this wine for you. What are you talking about? Wine. But listen.
I always feel like I'm like, if I come on Shay's vibe where I will dance with everyone, but I often feel like whenever I am entertaining a gentleman, I'm stealing.
Well, you need to put that drink down. Because the way you're talking right now is all mad. Like that drink.
When I'm entertaining a gentleman,
excuse me, honey.
When I'm entertaining a gentleman, you're on some James Bond shit,
entertaining a gentleman. That's real stripper talk right there.
That's lady talk. Young
no,
man.
it's not, bro. That is That is in the back room, bro. That's with curtains.
Wow, when I'm entertaining gentlemen. I didn't even catch it like that, but that's definitely
that is not the intention. I do not hang out with the
when I'm entertaining a gentleman. You know?
Entertaining a gentleman.
Oh, that's 1900s talk. Okay.
Damn.
According to the porn I watched, that's
period drama porn madness.
Right. But you know what? That must have come from lived experience. For you to always feel that must
100%.
have come from lived experience, 100%. Right? So then, I can't knock that hustle. For you to feel like that makes a lot of sense.
You man, can we change our mind, innit? Next carnival, can we change our mind?
For real.
Everybody come scrub up on me.
You know what it is, yeah? As well.
And leave me alone.
Like carnival is a tricky one because there's lots of man at carnival just trying to obviously collect numbers and blah blah. That's partially what carnival is as well, like especially the younger guys. But I feel like when you are communicating with your energy clear enough to everybody that I am here, like to have fun, like like I feel like sometimes girls without doing anything, they're not even dancing with anyone. Their energy is so sexual. I just stay away. I'm like, that girl there's a lot happening over there. And she's not even moving. Like, she's not even moving. So I know, like, I'm not going to approach her because she's going to assume I'm on something because she's on something. I don't know what she's on. And she probably doesn't even want the attention that she's 100% calling for with energy that she's got going on.
Also, you got to realize as well, there's different types of wine. Like, there's a fun wine. And there's definitely
wine, a fun wine.
Like, that's another thing. It's very difficult to be sexy to soca. It is very difficult to be like.
You know what? Though so many girls achieve it, bro.
No.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Not from a guy's point of view. From a guy's point of view.
Oh,
not
from a guy's point of view. Yeah. I definitely don't try. I don't try to seduce.
But this is my point. So like you can see when you turn around and she's looking at your face and you're off somewhere else, so you're enjoying what's happening whilst you're whining, if that makes sense. You can tell it's not about her, it's just about the day.
But you know what, just as a counter argument to what you're saying, I can think back to times where I've been in like clubs and stuff. And there was one girl in particular who I was like seeing for a time, and we always used to end up meeting up in clubs. And we would get into the most intimate situations in these clubs, but it was fine because we were like seeing each other. But I can guarantee that they would have looked visually like not that sexy, but to be in the moment, being in that moment was intensely sexy. So just as a counter argument to like the viewing perspective with regards to carnival, like I think when you put a wine on a woman properly, sometimes they looking back just to make sure that the face is good enough. You know what I mean? For them to let the fantasy go. Sure. Do you know what I mean? Because good wine and that fluid motion and the synchronicity, etc.
But you know what the thing is? There's a point where it's almost like it can no longer be an elephant in the room. Somebody has to say something, otherwise nothing happens. Does that make sense? Like with dancing, it's exactly the same. Like we can enjoy a dance. But if I feel something I don't like, if I hear something I don't like, if you approach me in a way I don't like afterwards, then I move. It's exactly the same way as pretty much anything. You could be walking down the street with somebody. The moment they say something, when you realize, okay, this is going left, it's not what I thought, you scram.
Hey, girl.
Like
your pum pum look fatty.
Yeah. Let's.
Imagine that, the first time I tried it and it worked, you know?
Rotted. Where was that?
Where have you been all my life?
Oh my God.
I've been practicing. That's where I've been practicing.